Good morning. Okay, so we're going to start with some seated work, and I'd like to start with pranayama, which is breath work, and a meditation. So, love the puppy, sure. They're cute. So, we'll just start by prepping for it, and then we're going to be sitting here for a little bit of time. So, to get comfortable, show you. Typically, when you lean back in a chair, you've got sort of a tilt to your pelvis. Your tailbone might tuck under. Hard to see. But just to sit back, you can see that your spine isn't typically erect, and a lot of times what happens is your tail tucks under in your lower background. So you want to make sure this chair has got quite a little dip in it, so I can sit right back in it. But still, in order to find an upright spine, I have to come away from the back of the chair. So whatever you need to do, if you want to just sit without support, you can. But it helps to have support back there if it can sort of hold you up in an upright position, because then you can really relax here with an upright spine. So you don't want to be sort of leaning forward or back, and you want those natural curves in your spine. So set it up however you need to set it up so that you're really comfortable here, because we are going to be spending some time. And it might be helpful to sit on some cushioning. It might be helpful to put support under your feet. You want the hips at a level above the knees if possible, so the knees are down below, but if your legs don't fit the chair properly, then you might need something under your feet just to make sure that they rest on the floor fully and that you feel supported. You've got your feet grounded into the earth. You've got your spine erect. Shoulder blades flat on the back. Let them drop down. And before we do our pranayama, I just like to do some opening for the chest. So you can bring your hands to your heart center. And then on the inhale, open the arms out, nice and wide. And on the exhale, bring them back. We'll just do that a few times. Big reach. Take your time with the breath. And then you can go to the diagonal, so one arm up, one arm down, and then the opposite diagonal. Side. And then big circles with the arms all the way up, bringing the palms together, and then bringing them down to your heart. And then down. Good. Okay, so let's start with alternate nostril breath, or Nadi Shodhana it's called. So you can take your hand and tuck in your your first two fingers. So you're going to be using your thumb and your ring finger. Right, start right at the top of the nose, and then just slide them down until you get to the point where it starts to soften, where you feel the bones start to turn to cartilage. And you don't want to press hard. You want it to be a very light press. Now you want your head to be in alignment, so it might be helpful to hold your elbow here, or just watch that you're not sort of pulling off to the side and you're not pulling down. So if you need to support that elbow, you can. So that's the positioning of the hands, and the first two fingers are tucked in, and then so you're using the ring finger and the thumb finger. So let's just start with the hands down on the thighs for now, and we'll just take a couple deep breaths without that, and then we'll add it in. Close your eyes and turn your attention in. Noticing how your body feels. Noticing any tension or tightness, allow it to release. Feeling the support of the chair. Or beneath you. Feeling solid and stable, connected. Allowing the chair and the bones of the skeleton to hold you up so all of the muscles can release and soften. Doing whatever you need to sort of adjust so that you feel really comfortable there. So there's no distraction from your body. Bringing the ears back over the shoulders, lengthening the back of the neck. And then turning your attention to your breath. Noticing its quality, speed, its depth. See if you can breathe down towards the belly. Allowing the chest to be calm. See if you can breathe all the way down into your pelvic floor. Expanding not only to the front, but to the side and the back, and into your seat. As you exhale, let go of all of the air. And let the next inhale come in naturally and fully. Allow the breath to smooth out. And let it settle down. And bringing the hand up to the nose, tucking in the first two fingers, and sliding the thumb and ring finger down just until it gets to the top of the cartilage. And then closing off the right side and exhaling through the left nostril. Inhaling through the left side and closing it off and exhaling through the right. And then inhaling through the right, closing that off and exhaling through the left. Inhaling through the left, out through the right. So just continuing in this pattern. Keep the breath low, keep it smooth, keep your head in alignment. If you need to hold your elbow, you can hold your elbow. And anytime you feel that you're straining or holding or for some reason it's not working for you, just stop and breathe normally. You can always start again if you need to. You can always adjust. using the exhale through the left nostril as the end of the series. Bring your hands back down to your lap. Close your eyes and breathe normally. Noticing how the breath feels, where it is in your body. Letting the diaphragm, releasing tension, releasing affection to your face, your neck, and your jaw. And then we'll do another round. So again, bring the hands up the nose, slide the fingers down, very light pressure flows off each side. Start with an exhale through the left, and then an inhale through the left, and an exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Going with that pattern. And doing the pattern again with the exhale to the left side. And then bringing your hands down to the left again and closing your eyes. Noticing. And we're going to do it one more time, but this time without the hands. So it's a lot more subtle and a lot more difficult. Just use your imagination if it's not really working for you. So you think about exhaling through the left side, inhaling through the left, and exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left, and continue. pattern again with an exhale through the left nostril. And then just breathe a moment. And we'll just continue to sit here, paying attention to the breath, but without anything going into the pattern. Noticing that one side might be more open than the other. Noticing the nice slow rhythm of the breath. Letting your mind settle. And slowly starting to let your breath down. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And give yourself a nice stretch, however it feels good. So you might reach back in your arms and forward. And then come back up. And if you've got a cushion or something behind you, you don't want to remove it off. And we're going to start moving the spine. So as you exhale, tuck your tail and round your back, bring your head forward. And then on the inhale, roll to the front of the sitting bone, hands can slide back, heartless. Keep going with the breath. Exhaling and rounding. Inhaling and arching. Bring as much movement to the spine as you can, so waking it up. The arms appear, so the hands reach forward as you round off. The hands reach back as you lift the heart. Keep the breath slow and smooth. Notice the quality of your breath and the quality quality of your mind. And then come back to a neutral position. Bring the hands back down on the chair beside you so that you can hold on, or the leg or whatever you can reach. Bring the right arm up, turn the palm in, and then lean over to the side. Watch you don't fall, so you've got a good grip. You might want to hold on to the chair leg as you come over, whatever you can reach. Keep the breath slow, your neck free. Inhale up, grab over on the other side. Notice the quality of your breathing. Come up and then do a twist. So you might need to come a little farther forward on the front of the chair. Bring the right hand behind you, the left hand comes around as you turn. Sitting up tall, start with the belly, shoulders back, and then turn the ribs. The hand can go across to the other knee, but don't move the knees. Lift the shoulders, bring the ears back over the shoulders, and then turn the head. And then over to the other side, slowly, taking your time, finding that height in the spine, making space between the bones. Turning with the exhale, softening as you go. Using your exhale to release tension so that this can get in deeper with less effort. Unwind and bring your hands out in front of you. So if you need to sit back again, you can, but watch again that you're sitting tall. Just break your fingers, fist, up towards the ceiling, down towards the floor. See if you can get the bend to happen as much at the wrist as possible. Keeping your hands as flat as possible. And then flatten towards the floor, coming in, coming away. Again, see if you can get that movement as much as possible in the wrists. And then the fist, with your thumb on the inside if you can, and make nice, slow, big circles. And then go in the opposite direction. Now make one hand flat, fingers up towards the ceiling, and use the other one to pull the fingers back. Make sure you've got all of the fingers on your thumb pulled back. And then the other one. And then bring both palms together. And get all the fingers to touch all the knuckles together. Bring it in towards your chest. And then bring it down, keeping the palms as flat as you can. And then you can try turning the fingers down towards the floor. Different. Okay. And then release and shake them out. Bring your feet out in front of you. Spread your toes. Come up. Flex them them back and then point them out, articulating through the arches. So you go through that high heel position both ways. And then taking them flex them back from the bottoms of the feet towards each other, and then away from each other so you can spread your feet out. So getting as much movement in through the ankles there as you can. And then the big circles. Again, articulating through the arches as you point the toes. And then reverse the circle. And then bring your feet down and bring them back. So sort of up onto your arches, so you're like a big high heel position. But watch that the ankles don't fall outwards. Keep the ankles in as much as you can, and then just walking them back as much as you can so you feel that stretch. Breathe. Keep your ankles in. Watch that the knees don't fall in. And then if you can, you can tuck them right under and onto the top of the feet. And if that doesn't work for you, you can go back and forth if you need to and keep it there. But watch that you're not sort of going in like this. Everything goes away from each other as much as possible. Breathe. Ankles in, toes out. And then release them. Shake them out. Tap them on the floor. Massage. And then sit up tall again, facing the feet on the floor. Hands behind the back. So if that hurts, you can just put your hands on the hips. If you can, you can grab a hold of your elbows. Maybe you're behind the chair, maybe you're in front of the chair, whatever sort of works. So, and wide to the collarbones, around the chest, bring the ears back, and then drop the chin to the chest, lying head to booties. Do a gentle rock from side to side, noticing the tightness and letting it soften. Really letting the weight of the skull go. And then come back to the center, bring the ears back, lift the chin up, and keep the back of your neck as long as you can. Keep those ears, find the stretch from the throat. Maybe sort of lift one side of the chin a little bit, the other side of the chin a little bit. And stretch one side. Move your jaw from side to side, move it around, open it up to come out. Keep your chin out again. Try to close your lips. And then come back to the center, bring your back over the shoulders again. And come over to one side, reaching out to the top of the head, so you make your neck as long as you can. And maybe a little nod. If you're not very big knees, just getting into the muscle wherever it's kind of letting it soften, letting the weight of the head go, but without collapsing the neck. So you're using gravity to help you stretch the muscle, but without losing that length through the spine. Your breath, soften whatever is tight. And then back to the center, lifting up and over to the other side. Doing small movements here, finding whatever going on tightest. Getting it soft. Release. Using your exhale to let go of the tension, resistance. And then rolling from side to side, bringing the chin to the chest and the other ear to the other shoulder. Just letting the head drop as you go there like a bowling ball rolling in the bed. And if you find something that's tight, you might sort of rock back and forth on it. Watch that the shoulders don't come forward, keep the back and down. Allow those muscles to soften as they lengthen. And then come back to the center. Lift the chin. Bring the ears back to the shoulders. Exhale and soften into the twist. Use your exhale to really deepen into the twist without pushing. And then lift down with the shoulders, tuck the chin back if you want to give yourself multiple chins, and then let the forehead drop down. Right? Let the breath slow and smooth. Let the muscles lengthen and soften. And then come back to the center. Lift the head, bring the ears back, and to the other side. Softening into the twist and start. Shoulders back and down. And then lift down the shoulder, tuck the chin back, drop the forehead. Release any tension to your eyebrows, your hairline. Feel the stretch at the back of the head, play with the back of the hairline. Maybe micro movements just to find any tightness. And then come back to the center and lift the head, release the arms, and rotate them. Bring the shoulders up and back, drop, again. Bring them out to the sides, bend the elbows with the palms forward. Bring the elbows and hands together if you can, and inhale and open up. Just going with your own breath at your own pace. Keeping the elbows up and dropping the hands down. Lifting up again. Releasing tension to the neck as it comes up. And then straightening the arms again. Pulling hands away from each other and then rolling the whole arm forward and the whole arm back. You can drop it down if there's pain in the shoulders and have it a little lower or difficult. And with your palms up, cross the elbows across the heart, and if you can, twist them up. Now bring the shoulders back and see black. Shoulders back towards the wall behind you. Let the shoulder blades drop down as you lift the elbows up. Keep the wrists away from your face. Next. Use your breathing. Let go of the tension with the exhale. Allow the muscles to lengthen and release. Neck is straight. You can even turn your head. You can move it to the side. You can roll it around. Back. Bring the arms out again. And bring the other arm on top. Don't let the shoulders roll forward. Bring them back. Drop the shoulder blades down as you lift the elbows up. Move your head around if that's comfortable. Use the breath. Keep it slow and smooth. Releasing through the neck. And then release. And move the shoulders around again. Move your neck around a little. So the still feels tight with a little extra stretch. And then come up towards the front of your chair again and make sure your feet are solid on the floor here. You can hold on to the side. There. So we're sitting up tall in a nice tall posture, with your shoulders back with the ears, shoulders back over the hips and the ears back over the shoulders, like as if you're leaning back against the wall. And then staying tall, lift one foot up off the floor, keeping the sitting bones down, and then bring it down. Staying tall to lift the other knee. Feel the work going on in the core, sides of the waist coming in towards the midline. Down again the first side. Staying as tall as you can. Down, other side. Now lift the first knee up and bring it out to the side, and you can put it down there or you can keep it lifted. And then bring it back to the front and put it down. Stay tall. Lift the knee, bring it out. And put it down. If you need to put the foot down on the floor, that's fine. Do that. Stay tall with your spine. Hold on to your chair. Mine's a little slippy. Again. Other side. Weight on both sitting bones. Sit tall through both sides of the waist. Alright, so next what we're going to do is stretch the legs. So start by stretching it out, bringing the heel down on the floor. Pull the toes back towards you, and you're extending out to the heel. And then bring it back, and then do the other side. And then bring it back, and this time, if you wish, you can lift it up off the floor and keep it off the floor as you stretch. And you put it down again, put it down again. Stay tall through your spine. And the other side. Just do what you can. No pain. This is a lot of work for the core and the back. Working those muscles in your spine. They start to hurt, stop. Again. Or put the foot down. Then you can still get the benefit of it without overextending. Start to the heel, the knee pulls back, slowly pull back, sitting as tall as you can. Now we're going to stretch the first leg out and bring it out to the side. If you need to put it on the floor, you might have to adjust on your chair to put it on the floor, and that's fine. Otherwise, it lifts. And then bring it back. Put it down again. Other side. Bring it tall. Stretch it out. Hold on to your chair if you need. Back. Try to keep your pelvis level so you're not turning toward your leg. You're just bringing it out as far as it will go. Probably not going to go as far as it normally does when it's supported. Have to be really high. A lot of work. That. Put it down. Good job. Okay, let's try something a little bit different. So for this one, we'll show you from the side. You're going to lean back on an angle. So you don't want to sort of overarch the back and stick the ribs out, but you also don't want to tuck the tail and round here. So you're sort of like you're straight here, you're straight here. You're just on a bit of an angle. And then you hold on to the side of the chair, stretch one leg out, and then the other one up. Now, if you need to do it with one foot on the floor, you can do it this way. Stretching one out, you can bend the other one, or you can lift them one or both. You could put the heel down and keep that foot lifted. That's quite a bit of work already. Or keep the other one lifted. Breathing, keep lacing up your corset and keep your spine in neutral so that it's a straight line and your breath is smooth. A lot of work for sitting on a chair. Stop. And bring them down. You're going to come forward, bring your elbows and knees back, 30 degrees there. When it's comfortable, you can bring your head all the way down and not keep your head up. And then come back up. Sitting, you're going to try to stand up. So for this one, bring your feet back. Now, if you need to use your hands on your chair, you can use your hands on your chair. You're going to lean forward and lift your butt just a couple inches off the floor. So you're standing on your own 2 feet. And then bring your butt back down again. So hands can be on the chair, hands can be on the knees if that's helpful. But what you want to make sure is that you don't bring your knees any farther than your ankles. So if the knees touch, then the ankles should be touching. Okay. If you need that support, you can do that. Otherwise, if the feet are apart, the knees have to be the same distance apart, and they stay there. And then you can try standing all the way up, sitting all the way down, but go in slow motion as much as you can, and watch your knees. Be the same distance as your ankles. And then if you want to try chair pose, you can bring your hands to your hips, or the hands can come in front of you, and you just sort of hover there an inch or so off the chair. Keep your butt back close to the chair, keep your heart lifting and your shoulders away from your ears. And then stand up. Stretch. So you feel an opening here. Bring your thighs back with the belly up. And then come back on the way down and see if you can hover in chair pose again. Your heart lifting, weight back on the heels, knees as wide as your ankles. Don't sit on the cat cow. The cat was about to steal your seat there. Okay, come up to standing. And we're going to grab a hold of the chair and do a cat-cow. Hold on to the sides of the chair here. And just like when we do it on our knees, as you exhale, you tuck the tail, scoop the belly around the back. And inhale, stick the tail up, melt the heart between the arms here. And keep your knees slightly bent. And your feet are right under your hips. And your shoulders are right over your wrists. Just going back and forth with your spine. Keep your knees bent. Keep your breath smooth. And then come to a neutral position. So your back is flat, you're holding on with your arms and bring your feet right together. And just make a circle with your knee. Keeping your spine where it is, just circle the knee in a big direction, lifting the foot up off or your knee bent. Reverse the circle. Bring that foot down and try the other side. Circle with the knee. Go in the opposite direction. And bring the foot back down and find that neutral position with the spine again. So the feet are right under the hips. The back is straight, looking up, melt as heart is melting forward. And then feet together. Bring one leg out behind you. And you bend the knee and lift the foot up towards the ceiling, keeping the hip down. So don't let the hip lift. Keep the hip down and lift the knee and the heel up towards the ceiling behind you, and then bring the foot down. Now take a little step forward so your feet are a little far there. And then shift your hips back over your feet down. Yeah. Now lift the other. There you go. Look, melt the heart. Don't let the upper back round. Let the shoulders hunch and melt them down. Lifting the heel, but keeping the hip down as much as you can. Bottom knee can stay a little bit bent. And then bring it down again. Sharon, you're leaning forward too, so you bring your feet a little bit forward or lean your hips back. Yeah. Now bring that first leg out again. Knee bent, drop the hip. Hip is down, the knee is down towards the floor. And then see if you can stretch that leg straight out behind you and stretch your bottom leg straight if you can. Breathe. And then bring it down. Other side. If it's too much, stop at any time. Lift the knee, keeping the hip down. And then stretch the leg straight. Stretch the bottom leg if you can. Bottom knee is straight, but not hyperextended. Okay, lift from the upper inner thigh. Keep your breath in. Down. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Now, if it gets too much, you could always just extend that foot out and put the toes on the floor. Bring the first leg out again. Drop the hip down. And then if you want to try, bring the opposite arm out. Just like we do on the knees. Hip down, lifting the upper inner thigh. The breath smooth. And then bring the leg down, bring the hand down. Hard work. Other side. Bring the leg up. Drop the hip. Stretch it out behind you. Press down to the bottom heel and lift up to that standing hip. Add arm to it. Straighten that back leg out behind you. Press out through the heel and reach the foot away from you and reach the hand in the opposite direction to get longer. Notice your breathing. Bring it back. Bring your leg back. And bring your feet a little bit wider. Maybe bring your elbows to your chair to release your back. If you want, you can bring your head down. Otherwise, sit up. Keep your elbows down. And wiggle your hips from side to side. That feels good. And then grab the top of your chair, so you can sort of grab it on the edges. It doesn't matter if it's flat or round. And step back and give it a sink stretch. So step your feet back and then pull your hips back so your spine is nice and long here. Lift your head up and melt your heart down. Watch that your front ribs don't poke out. Keep them lifted somewhat. Feel the stretch in the shoulders. And pull the hips back away from the chair to make space in between the vertebrae and the spine. Wiggle your hips here. That feels good. Pull one back and the other. And then bring your hands back down to the chair seat. And step up to the chair. So you're going to want the length of your mat here. So you want the chair on one edge. And we're going to do some lunges. So stepping right up close to the chair to start. And then step one foot back. And you start with the knee lifted. You start with a high lunge. So the toes go back. Watch that the hip is level, so the hip drops. And then you soften the front knee, keeping the back knee straight and lifted. Breathe. Drop that hip down. Lift the belly. Pull the tail down towards the back heel. And then step forward. Step the other foot back. Make sure the feet are right up to the chair to start. So that gets your shin in a good position. Lift the back knee strongly, and then drop the hip down. So your left leg is back, bring it back as far as it will go. Hold onto your chair, bend your front knee. Lift the belly up away from the thigh until pull the tail down towards the back heel. Notice the quality of your breath. Melt your heart. Step forward. Again, bring the leg back. Now this time, if you wish, you can bring your knee down to the floor. Lift the belly more, and maybe you let go of one hand. Whichever leg came back, you let go of that one hand. Put the other hand on your chair for support. Your right leg's back, your right arm is lifted. Keep that hip forward, lift the belly up, tail down. And you bring the hand back, you lift the back knee, and step forward. And side. And you can stay lifted if you need to, or you can bring it down. Bring the pubic bone up away towards your ribs. You shorten your waist. And then if you want to add that other arm, you can. Notice your breathing. Hands down, lift the back knee, and step forward. Again, you can bring your feet wide, bring your elbows down to your chair, rock your hips from side to side. Pop yourself up and turn your chair. So now you can hold the back side of it. I'm using a different computer because much different camera angle. Okay, so stepping up close to the chair. You start just by finding your mountain here. So make sure your feet are straight ahead. Shift the weight back towards the heels, and then lift it out. Shoulders up and down and down. Soften the ribs in. Bring the ears back on the shoulder. If it's comfortable, close your eyes, find your belly. And then open the eyes, bring the hands to the back of the chair, and lift one leg and see if you can bring it up to the chair seat. Now, if this is too far to bring it up, what you can do is put a block under your chair, and you just lift it to your block in the chair. So if the chair is too high, you could just do it here, or maybe even a couple blocks. So this position here, the head wants to lift. So draw the hip down and lift up to the standing leg side. Okay. Some it might be easy, some it might be very difficult. And then bring that down. Try the other leg. If you need to change chair or walk around to the other side, you can. Or just bring the other foot up to the chair. And then drop the hip down and lift to the standing leg side. So you're still in mountain pose, except for one leg. Just lift it. Soften your breath. Notice your alignment. Shoulders back over the hips, ears off of the shoulder. Bring that down. And bring the first foot up again. All through the standing leg. Shoulders back over the hips, lift the belly. Now see if you can lift that foot up off the chair. If you can't, put it back down again, that's fine. You can just put your toes so you've got less weight. That's okay too. If you want to try, you can even stretch the leg out. Or not. Keep your bottom leg straight. Shoulders back over your hips. And bend it. Put it back to the chair. Let the head drop. Straighten your bottom leg. Good. Bring it back. Seems easy, right? Other side. up on the chair. Strong, straight on the bottom leg. Don't let that leg bend. And so you can lift your foot. Don't drop the chair. Keep your hand on the chair to help you. Keep your alignment, keep your mountain pose. You want to try, stretch the leg straight, keep the hip down. You could always rest the leg on the chair there. Bend it. Get back on the chair, drop the hip, find your length on your standing leg side, shoulders back. See that cat ended up stealing your chair after all now. Other side. Try again. Lift the foot up to the chair. All through the standing leg, lift the foot up away from the chair if you can. You can hold it. Stretch the leg straight. Keep the bottom leg straight. Straighten your bottom leg down. Rest it on the calf if you need to. You don't mind. Bring it back. Put it down. Okay, the foot can always rest on the chair. It doesn't need to lift. Other side. Stand really tall. Lift the foot if you can. You need to just one step at a time. Maybe you put one toe there. Lift it straight if you need to. You rest the foot on the chair. And lift it up. Straighten your bottom leg. Bring the shoulders back. Back, put down. Bring the foot down. Good job. Okay, let's turn the chair so we can hold on to the seat in front of us. And I'm just gonna, so you can be like this with your feet nice and wide here. And your toes pointing forward, holding on to the back of the chair. I'm just gonna turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing. So here you can bend one knee. Make sure the knees are going in the same direction as the toes. And then straighten it. One hand and knee in the direction of the toes. And just going side to side at your own pace. Get a nice stretch through the hips, through the groins here. And straighten both legs and shift the hips to one side. And then shift the hips to the other side. It's not a very big movement. The legs are straight and the pelvis is over the leg. And come back to the center. And if you can bring your elbows down to the chair on a nice flat back. Maybe you could go a little wider with your feet if you feel stable doing so. Keep the toes forward, keep the legs straight. And if you want, you can even bring your head down a little bit. Make sure that your hips are not falling back behind the heels or forward in front of the toes. Toe together. In. And I will give you the choice. If you want to do legs up the chair, laying on your back, the legs on the chair you can. If you'd like to sit in the chair, you can. However you're comfortable and can relax. Make sure you're warm. Use whatever props you need. You might want something under your head. You want something behind your back if you're sitting flat on the floor for Shavasana if you prefer. Make sure you feel supported wherever you're at. Big virtual hugs for all of you. Resting your bones down. Close your eyes and turn your attention towards noticing how you feel. You can flatten the shoulder blades behind you. Feel gravity pulling you down. Feel that security of the earth possibly a chair. Knowing that it's not going anywhere. So that no matter what you do or don't do with your body, you'll still be supported, held. Allow the muscles to release over the bones and skin to drape over the muscles. Allow your legs to let go of any tension. Hips, pelvis, softening belly. Releasing the internal organs. Let them be soft. Feel your back supported. Letting go of any tension through your shoulder blades, shoulders. Allow your arms to rest. Allow the neck to release. Feel the weight of the skull. Softening to the face, jaw, cheeks, temples. The eyes soften. The eyebrows, the forehead. Letting the hair release on your scalp and the eyeballs be heavy and soft. And then turning your attention to your breath. Letting it be smooth, slow, subtle. Notice if there's a dominance in one nostril or if it's equal. And just follow the steady, slow rhythm of the breath. Bringing your attention back as often as you're distracted. And staying here